What's going on, all you gamers? Today we're back with some more Elden Ring. What we'll be covering today is the full walkthrough of Varre's quest. So if you'd like to complete that quest and know everything about it so you don't make any mistakes, then stay tuned. That's coming up next. Welcome back, all you guys and girls. As always, for all things gaming, for all things Xbox, then why not hit that subscribe and bell icon? I'll bring you all the latest and greatest content, hints, tips, guides and builds. But for today, you're here to find out how you can do the complete walkthrough his whole quest chain for White Mask Varre, or Varre, however you pronounce his name, his complete walkthrough guide. Now, at the very start of the game, you're going to come across this person just up here. You come across him very early, just as you make your way out of the tunnels below. No doubt you'll remember him. It's this guy with the mask, bit of a strange fella at the start, and afterwards you get a kind of quest from him that's going to make your life a lot easier. So later on, once you've done a bit of the game, what you gotta do is make your way just over here to the Rose Church. When I was doing this, the closest waypoint I had was the Boiled Prawn Shack, but since then I've uncovered another one and it's just up here, and that's the Fallen Ruins of the Lake. Make your way to that number 2 marker, the Church of Rose, and we'll kick off the quest from there. So once you're there, just at the front of it, you're going to be greeted by the same fella again. You're going to want to speak to him and he's going to start a chain of dialogue. Make sure you pick this first option, that they didn't seem right. I'm not sure what happens with the second one, but I know you definitely want to pick this one. After that, you're going to want to talk to him again, and this time he's going to do something slightly different. He's going to give you some festering bloody fingers, which is going to allow you to invade other players. What you're going to want to do is activate them probably close to a site of grace, seems to be the best in my experience. I had a little bit of trouble with this at the start. If it just says trying to invade over and over, you're not going to probably get in, so try another location. I found the best location overall for myself was probably in the capital, but most places tend to work with a little bit of trial and error. Now once you've invaded, don't worry, win, lose, draw, probably even disconnect, it doesn't tend to matter. All that matters is that you've actually tried it and you've invaded somebody's game. Most times you are going to get an absolute pasting because there's 2 or 3 people that you've invaded, but sometimes you may well be able to take them down. Luckily for myself, out of 3 I managed to take down 2 of them. I think one was because they were fighting a boss at the same time, so I felt a bit sorry for them. After that, make your way back to the same fella at the Rose Church, and then speak to them again. Again, you're going to want to pick the first option, and this one's going to be Anoint Me. Upon picking that option, he's going to give you a nice key item, which is the Lord of Blood's Favour. He then tells you you're going to have to soak this with a Maiden's blood, but because you're maidenless, it's going to be a bit trickier for yourself, so you're going to have to find a destination in which you can do this. The best place that I found was to start off at the Grand Lift of Dectus, just up the top here, and from there we wanted to make our way down to kind of the Frenzied Village, and then up a little bit until we found a broken down church. Now this can be a bit tricky because on your way here there is actually a tower that causes madness. You can either time it right or you can just leg it and hope for the best, but you can definitely make it through, and this I found was still the easiest place to get to. You're going to want to go to this location just up here, so follow the waypoint I've put and make your way. Again, once you do reach the exact location, there is a bit of a test for you because you're going to encounter an NPC who's going to have invaded you and you're going to have to fend them off. And that's the Fingerprint Vike. This guy actually has a good chunk of damage about him, has some nice skill set, and he almost wiped me out when I wasn't ready. So definitely have your wits about you and go in for the kill, because I would say damaging him first rather than being long range would definitely work for the best. he will reward you with Vike's War Spear, which is pretty tasty. From there you're going to make your way straight inside and you'll be at the Church of Inhibition. Once in here you'll be able to find a nice finger maiden set, so you're going to get the robe, the fillet and the shoes, and you're going to be able to soak that item in the blood of the maiden that's just there, as well as pick up a sacred tear, so well worth knowing this location even if you weren't doing this quest. Having completed the ordeal that he told you about, you go straight back to him, and that's the final trial completed. Keep speaking to him and things will turn a little bit weird as he asks for your hand and then does this to you. From there he's going to reward you with a bloody finger, but more so than that you're going to want to speak to him again, because then you're going to get the main thing you're after, and that's the Pureblood Knight's Medal. He tells you not to use this until it is the perfect time. You're going to completely forego that and use it straight away by clicking on it and pressing use. So once you have used the medallion, you're going to make it all the way to Moghwyns Palace, which is kind of a secret area that's a lower stage of the map. So if you did need to get back here for Xbox at the very least, you'll click in your right analog and it will show you the layers of the map. From here you're going to walk all the way forward, pick up the item on the ground, which is nice because it's the map piece you need in order to know exactly where you're going, and walk a little bit more forward and you're going to be able to pick up the grace site in case you need to get back here at any time. Now from here the most important thing is knowing exactly where you'll be going. So follow the location that I'm showing just here, that marker right there, make your way around the cliff facing and you should be golden. Just follow exactly where I'm going there. As soon as you're on this patch of grass you can jump on your trusty steed and it's going to make things a lot faster. Pretty much just hug the cliff facing whenever you can on the right hand side and make your way around it. What you are going to want to do though, you're going to want to stop off a little bit before you should, because there's a technique you can use in order to make this much easier. At this part there's a lot of things that can aggro, and the only thing you need to do is to beat one actual invading NPC. I found if you go just over this direction, move across the blood, and then kind of work your way back very carefully, it will aggro him and him alone, meaning he's going to invade, and you don't have to worry about the chicken monster or backing up into any other enemies. Trust me, you do not want to be fighting 2, 3, 4 ads at once, because it doesn't end well, and the first time I got absolutely massacred. Upon defeating this first one, you actually don't get anything. A friend of mine said he got everything first time, so I don't know if it's down to randomness, but I got nothing whatsoever and had to move on to the next one, which is at this location marker just here. Nice and easy. What you're going to do is make your way around, hug the walls again, and you should be golden. If you aggro any of the monsters, just run away. I believe they should de-aggro by the time you get to the end. Again, it's going to kick you off your horse because you're being invaded. What you got to do, prepare for it, because he can hit very hard, and these are some of the toughest invaders that I've fought. Mainly due to their blood type of magic. Nuke him, destroy him, beat him any way you can, and you're going to be rewarded with this right here, the full setup of the War Surgeon, and the main thing you're probably after, the White Mask, which is just amazing in any kind of bleed build you're after. Now that that's out of the way, you're going to teleport back to your starting location just here, the Dynasty Mausoleum entrance, and this time rather than going back on yourself, you're going to make your way up the path. Just follow the route I take here and you should be good to go. one thing to watch out for, those guys right there, they're slow, they don't actually offer much of a threat, but in amongst those are completely exploding, bursting type enemies that can really make your day very, very bad. So kind of dodge roll or jump around and make sure you avoid them at all costs, because they hit ridiculously hard. Also, avoid this thing, which I have no idea what it is, some kind of grotesque oozing blood thing. Yeah, just avoid it, jump around it. It's very slow, but it can hit hard again. Once you've made it to this part right here, it's going to be very dark, so make sure you've got your lantern equipped. If not, make sure you chuck on a torch, just so you can see where you're going, and then head in the direction that I'm showing you now. At this part, make sure you chuck a right, you can chuck a left, that's going to take you to a trader, I believe. Just keep making your way around. And eventually what you're going to see is a kind of opening up in the distance. You're going to want to make it up to there, because that's going to be your next site of grace, and you'll be able to use that to teleport back whenever you need to. From here you're going to go straight back inside where you were, and you're going to be able to invade using this red symbol on the floor, your good pal White Mask Varre, the one who's given you all the quests. Now again, very much like the other NPCs, this guy hits ridiculously hard. Because you're in a confined space and he's doing blood magic and such, it can be a tough time, so make sure to keep a bit of distance if you're a mage. If not, make sure you can do a bit of damage about yourself and you've got a good setup in order to take him down. Just make your way down and around, and then just slightly on the left hand side, even though it's a bit hard to see because it is very dark in these, you're going to fight White Mask Varre, and he is a bit of a tough enemy. So like I said, make sure you're kind of prepared. After a tough battle, or for myself at least, it's going to tell you vanquished the host, and it's going to kick you back out again. From here, he'll be on the floor, kind of begging for his life, and asking Moghwyn for his help, which pretty much doesn't go well for him. After a whole bunch of begging for his life and pleading for help, he finally falls over, and you'll be able to be rewarded with this. So some festering bloody fingers, and Var's unique weapon, Var's Boquet. So now, nice and easy, you've got the full setup of the War Surgeon set, but the most thing you're going to be after probably will be the headpiece, which is absolutely amazing for any kind of bleed build. I believe it's an additional 10% extra damage when anything around you is bleeding, so well worth it in bleed builds, just absolutely exceptional. Also, you're going to have got what he gave you a minute ago, which was his weapon, Var's Boquet. Definitely a bit odd, but again, it may well work in some bleed builds. I couldn't use it unfortunately because it required a lot of arcane, but from the looks of it, it's another bleed weapon and also can give you back life regen on certain hits, so definitely looks like it could be a fun thing to use, even though the range of it is a little bit short. But yeah, all in all, you're going to look pretty like this, and well worth doing his quest. But as always, guys and girls, for all things gaming, for all things Xbox, take care. I'll see you on the next day.